so much for joining us tonight. Welcome to our first Healthy Oceans, Healthy Minds talk. I'm Karina, I'm Projects and Events Officer at Keep Northern Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm Nicola, I'm the Community Development Officer at Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful.
Yeah, and we both work on the Live Here, Love Here team within Keep Northern Beautiful. Firstly, we'd like to say a massive thank you to our supporters, Ocean Conservancy, who've been really supportive with us throughout this whole planning process. They're an international conservation body, and we're the national coordinators for them here in Northern Ireland. And we'll stick a bit more about them in the chat later on. Delighted that you're able to join us for these series of talks called In the Deep End, and we'll be hearing from some wonderful people immersed in nature, health, resilience, and communities, all connected by the love of the outdoors, health, resilience, and community. This is like you can tell it's the first time, really, can't you? so we're all immersed in nature, health, resilience, and the community, all connected with their love of the outdoors and the impact it has on them, their work, and ultimately their mental health as well. That's the word, Nicola.
Perfect. So throughout the campaign, we'll want to again reconnect people with their seas and their waterways, and to show what the impact of a healthy marine environment can have on our health and well-being. And so we would really want to be able to create a society that values the outdoors and the benefits of what being outdoors can bring. So as you know, this is our very first session, so we're just finding our feet, and we hope that you find this entertaining, if not valuable and worthwhile. So before we begin, we just kind of want to cover a few Zoom kind of rules as we're putting it. So we would just, as Karina mentioned, we are recording this session, and we've got it set up so it should just record the speaker view. And so that'll be anybody that is on camera and as they're speaking. So then please feel free to chat through the chat function, or ask any questions using the chat function as we go along. And if you'd like to maybe ask a question live, then or to want to maybe share a story or an experience or anything that may be relevant, you can either raise your hand, use the raise your hand function, or as it's quite a nice small group, maybe just naturally chat just whenever we're in the discussion side of it. So we do hope that it's going to be interactive, and we will have kind of the more kind of conversation style session, and then we will open it up to a group discussion just towards the end.
Thanks, Nicola. So today we are chatting to Jack from How You Really. Say hi, Jack.
Hello.
So we're chatting to Jack today about his journey with mental health and what he's learned from it, and how he's turned these experiences into a field that sustains his mission. So Jack, that sounds a bit broad, doesn't it? But firstly, I think we should address the elephant in the room. We are assuming you're doing Movember.
Yes, yeah, this isn't my natural look for the whole year. Yeah, just supporting Movember this year, and sorry in advance.
Excellent. Alec with us tonight, yeah.
So yeah, Jack, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell us where you're from and give us a little bit of background about you?
Yeah, so my name is Jack. I am from Bangor as well, so shout out to the Bangor peeps. And
whoop,
yeah,
whoop.
whoop, whoop. So yeah, I'm 22 years old. I'm a youth worker, and recently, like a month ago, I started this kind of new business venture that's kind of got a bigger mission to it. I have 11 chickens that live in my back garden. I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. So yeah, big animal house over here. It's like a petting zoo, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. So, well, Jack, you're obviously here because there's a story, there's a reason, and I think we just kind of want to open this to you. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah. So, as you guys are probably aware, I'm here representing our brand, which is How Are You Really? But it kind of goes back to about 4.5 years ago, which is when my kind of journey with my struggle with mental health kind of started. So I had just finished upper sixth here in Bangor, and I ended up moving away to a university in Scotland. And I really struggled. There was just a lot going on in my life when I moved over there. I really struggled to adjust and fit in. And I just began to feel really lonely. And over a course of the first couple of months, I kind of lost connection with the whole of the outside world. I really started to just struggle and became very, very depressed very quickly, and never really left my room. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. And the struggle got so much to the point where I became suicidal, and I was very close to taking my own life. And thankfully, I reached out to the right kind of people at home, and I came home, and that's when I was diagnosed with clinical depression. And really from that point on, it's been an ongoing battle with my own mental health, even still to today. I'm still on antidepressants. I take my medication. I've been through counselling and just a number of different things. And it's just something that I've been very aware of since then, but I've never really talked about openly until recently. And with the whole COVID situation coming out of the back of the first lockdown, I was really, really worried for just people around me. As I said, I'm a youth worker, and I was just aware of lots of different situations in families and in young people and in friends, especially. Just noticing that over the course of lockdown, our mental health as a collective was really just under a huge strain. So I felt the need to kind of put a wee kind of note up somewhere, just to say, look, guys, now is the time to really be checking in on each other. And I put together a video. Something I like doing is making videos, making films. Is something I studied, was film at university. But yeah, so I made this video, and it was just essentially just asking people to ask each other, how are you really, instead of just using how are you as a greeting, to ask the question of how are you really. And I put this up on my Facebook page, and I kind of blew up a little bit. Got like close to 20,000 views, and a couple of different news networks and stuff picked it up, and news outlets and stuff. And it was really from that point on, I felt like I could and needed to do more. That was also the first time that I talked publicly about how I was struggling, and how bad my situation got while I was studying in Edinburgh. And yeah, so from that point on, after posting that video and this kind of desire to do more, it was actually my younger brother who came to me and my dad and said, actually, you could do something with the slogan of how are you really, and you could try and do something with that. And after months of kind of thinking and going, no, do I want to do something? Can I do something? Do I have the skill set to do something? I kind of just took the leap, and we created this brand of How Are You Really? And what it is, essentially, for people who don't know what it is, it's an eco-friendly brand that is seeking to raise awareness around our mental health. And 20% of the profits go to local mental health charities. So right now we're partnered with Aware NI. So every purchase, 20% of the profits go straight to them to support them, because they're the experts on the front line. And as well as we can raise awareness, part of my heart in all of it was to support the people in the positions to do some real good. But yeah, that's a wee bit of a longer story of how I got here.
You've probably touched on this already, but you're saying there about to raise awareness is one of the reasons why you did it. Is that the main reason why you started this, and what's your sort of your passion behind all this, and why now? Why was it coming out of lockdown that triggered it, or?
Yeah, I mean, so my passion is essentially just is raising awareness and letting people know that it is okay to struggle. My fuel is essentially my experience. I know how hard and painful it can be to be at that level of lowness and really struggle. And I want to try and help people avoid getting to that situation, but also just getting support when they are in that situation. Um, and I think that's what fuels me every single day, whether it is in my youth work or with it is with the How You Really stuff or just conversations with people like me. It's I'm just always just trying to get below the surface and really check in on people. And that's something I'm trying to inspire others to be doing as well, because it's not going to be some big grand, remedy that's going to drop out of the sky for this. It needs to start on the ground as a grassroots movement, where people start looking after people. Yeah, I think that's what keeps me going.
That's fantastic. Like, it's obviously been like quite a lengthy journey for you to get from where you are to where you are now, and like have there been any like major obstacles that have been in your way like along that journey?
Yeah, I mean, personally, my mental health, as I said, like there's good days and bad days. There's some days where I can get loads done. There's other days where I really struggle to get out of bed, and usually I just aim to get one thing done a day, and if I can get more done, that's it. And I mean, COVID's a huge challenge with everything. Whether it's trying to meet face to face, trying to build relationships with different people, and even now to do with the brand. Like even last week, there's stresses because there's delays on orders from our suppliers and different things like that. So I think life right now is full of obstacles, and it's that's why this kind of conversation is so important as we talk about our mental health, and what's going on underneath the surface.
Yeah, definitely. You're saying there that you started talking about it sort of at the end of the second lockdown a bit more publicly. Was that the first time your sort of friends and family had heard that you were struggling, or like, what has the reaction been for them with you about all this?
Yeah, so yeah, it was around the end of the first lockdown, so that would have been like off the top of my head, like June, July, or something. Somewhere around that. I can't remember. It's on my Facebook page, but yeah, the reaction was really. I mean, I wasn't expecting any form of reaction, and I got a lot of supportive messages from old friends and family and stuff like that. But the kind of general feedback was like, because in school I was such a like class clown, like happy-go-lucky, kind of guy. And a lot of people's reaction was like, "Wow, you would be the last person I would imagine to have like hit rock bottom." And I think that in itself is a powerful message. That actually it can be sometimes the people we expect least to be struggling. It can be the people who wear the mask, not the COVID mask, but the actual mask that we can wear. Sometimes they can wear the mask the best, and we'll never see through it. And yeah, that was a real wake up call. Just those messages coming in to me, it was a real wake up call. Because I was going, I wonder who I know, who I would never expect it from, who maybe is struggling, But yeah, that was kind of the general reaction. Just a lot of support, but just a wee bit of shock as well.
Yeah. And from that, like, has there been any like advice or anything? Like, were you given any advice or resources or pointed in specific directions? Like along the way.
Yeah. So I mean, the best resource is the people around you. That's family member or a friend or someone on the phone, a helpline, just people who will listen and will talk things out. I think I'm a firm believer in that. Is the best remedy is conversation. As I said earlier, like I've been through myself, counselling and different courses of medication and stuff. And I think it's always important to seek professional help when you're ready. When you feel like you're able to go through that, because that can be quite a tough process to kind of face up to your giant. But yeah, the advice that I was given was just keep talking and just keep trying to do one thing a day. Whether that is get up and get showered, make your bed, and that's it. It's putting one foot in front of the other. And that would be the advice that I would give to people now is just keep talking and be open. There's no shame in how you're feeling, and just keep trying to put one foot in front of the other.
Jack, you sort of said there that your background is in film and video edit and stuff. How did you get into running a business and a clothing business? And what's the one thing that you wish you knew before you began?
The one thing I wish I knew how to do was how to run a business. I kind of jumped in 2 feet, and thanks to my dad, who has a lot of experience in business and sales and stuff, he's carried a lot of the weight when I've been unable to. When I haven't known the answers, I've been able to go to him. Film has been a huge passion of mine from no age, just watching films and YouTube videos and stuff. And that's actually what I studied for a little bit in Edinburgh, was film. And I'm no expert. I just have a camera and I just like making silly videos, and it's just, again, something I'm a wee bit passionate about. And actually it's kind of paying off really well, because I'm able to use that now in a way that is communicating a message or raising awareness or just helping out the brand or whatnot. So everything happens for a reason,
That is true. Well, with that kind of leads the thought of with your background in film, have you found this transition to life on Zoom in 2020? Have you found it easy, or has it been something you've struggled with?
I have struggled with it. As you can probably tell, I could talk for Ulster, but trying to do it on Zoom is just a different dynamic. Over the course of lockdown, as I'm sure all of us have, it was just Zoom call after Zoom call. And I think it has brought a new form of exhaustion in. I don't know if anyone maybe agrees. It's like just a new form of tiredness. And I think all of us as humans are not used to that. So it's taken its own kind of toll on us of having to sit at our desks and smile in front of the camera and talk and pretend that we're listening sometimes, but the old Zoom fatigue, amen. It takes its toll. So I've really struggled, but it's been good. I'm thankful. I want to say that can still stay in touch on throughout this really rubbish time. That it's given us an opportunity to stay connected, to keep going, even if it is tough. It's something,
Yeah, no, could totally agree with that. And we are very aware that now, talking about maybe Zoom fatigue while we're all sitting on Zoom in our spare time, in our free time, but it's how maybe our social lives have now had to evolve this way. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And that's the thing. Even the likes of social media, it's changing every minute. And I think there's definitely, hopefully everyone here is here for pleasure. Whoever's watching is watching because they want to watch. But there's definitely a clear difference in Zoom work and Zoom pleasure, if you want to call it that.
I know, I think we've probably been quite lucky that we were able to mix our Zoom work with Zoom pleasure as well. We are getting a really good opportunity here that we're really enjoying, mixing that, having those conversations about the outdoors and mental health with as a passion, but also as a job as well.
Totally, yeah.
I'm sure like there's probably some of that with you as well, that you've mixed obviously not pleasure at some stage, but having the ability to talk to people about a topic that's you're passionate about, and be able to create stuff. Is that something that you enjoy, or what's the most important or thing to you, and what do you enjoy most about what you're doing at the minute?
For me, it's essentially what we're aiming to do, which is raise awareness. I think every time someone sees a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or a hoodie, it hopefully triggers a thought. Every time someone purchases one, it's someone who is advocating for it. And then on top of that, it's just hearing people's stories. Like, 75% of the time when someone orders something, there's an email attached to it just saying, thank you for doing this, and here's my story. And I just consider myself really lucky and blessed just to be able to read those stories and to hear people's experiences and journeys, and just to try and encourage them to keep going and to keep sharing their story. And it's incredible the work some people are doing, and it's all on the sideline. They do it not for a crowd or some form of thanks. They do it because they are passionate. So that's just something I really enjoy seeing, is just hearing about that work, getting to be a small part of that, and to try and encourage them just to keep going.
No, that's really great. So, well, what's next? Like, what is the next? Like, what does the future hold for How Are You Really?
Who knows? My big dream is just to see it continue to grow and to be a kind of bigger name. We've only been it was the 10th, so 2 days ago it was a month since we launched, so it's only been a month, but we've been growing pretty solidly, pretty quickly. And I'm just really excited to see where it goes. I'm not 100% sure, but I've got a couple of big dreams of getting in touch with universities, because part of my story was from first year university, and seeing if we can build a link there and support them, and whether we can provide some merch for them or whatever, and different businesses, and just trying to encourage generally big corporate or universities or schools or whatever kind of establishments to advocate mental health awareness, and to let them know that their students or workers or whatever are going to be supported, whether they're doing great or they're struggling. So I think that's the big dream, is just growing it and seeing what different kind of new avenues may open up in the future. Yeah.
That's great.
It's really exciting to see where you're going. And we found you through, I think it was a Belfast Live article that you like popped up as we were sort of like come up with different content and stuff. And we're like, oh my goodness, like this looks class, like, and we're really nervous about like contacting you. And I think you said the same to us. Like we had this sort of like, oh, well, they want to get involved, like, and then you had the same of like, oh, why are they contacting me? And it's all about those relationships building and people bringing people together that are passionate about the same thing. So our signature question then, our final one, is what's your relationship? This is obviously, this whole campaign is about healthy oceans and healthy minds, and obviously a big part of this is mental health, but it seems a bit strange coming from an environmental charity. So what's your relationship with the coast and inland waterways, and how has it helped you on your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but I'll try and keep it short. Where to start? So, as I said, I live in Bangor. I live really close to Ballyhome Beach, and that was something I never appreciated until moving back from Edinburgh after going through that quite like traumatic experience. And after living locked in my student dorm, literally locked in there for a couple of months, being beside the sea was really refreshing again, and I think I gained a real appreciation for it. Also, one of the guys that really pulled me out of that dark place would turn up at my front door and drag me out of my bed literally and take me on a walk along the beach. And for my mental health, that place has become a real safe place for me. Just the beauty of the ocean and our local beaches is just a real place where I can now go and process and just work through the emotions in my head. And after all, whether we're angry or sad or happy or celebrating, or we feel broken, it's just really, really therapeutic. And in a world that is so crazy and is ever changing, nature is one thing that just remains constant if we take care of it. And for me, that is just something really special. And I mean, from no age, we have, as a family, we have a caravan, and I've been going to it since like I was no height, and we've been sea swimming, surfing, rock jumping, the whole lot, and that has just been a big part of my life. And I think now, as an adult, I have just gained this whole new love and respect for our oceans. Because without them, we would be losing something shocking. And I think as well, just it's important to note as well through lockdown, as we've felt lonely and cooped up and we can't meet other people in their houses, there's been a whole new focus on how we can make use of what's around us, what's on our doorstep, and families being able to go out and make use of those. And yeah, it's really special, and for me, it's done wonders for my mental health. Just having that safe place to go and just to sit, to be still, to listen, and to think and to dream big. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a really nice kind of explanation of it. I think you're right touching on the coming out of lockdown has helped us kind of reconnect with what we have on our doorstep, and what we have, and connecting with whether it's ourselves, by going out for your own walk in your own mind space, or else connecting with each other's, because we can't. Okay, well, we're just gonna maybe just ask you finally as well, where can people connect with you online? Where's the best places?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram and we're on Facebook, and both those handles are just How Are You Really? So it's spelt like the shirt, so it's just this way around, How, and then just the wee R, really. And you can check us out there. Our website is www.howareyourreally.com. You can read a wee bit more about our story and our mission. And obviously the charity that we support at the minute is Aware Now. You'll be able to read a wee bit more about them on there. And if you have any more questions or anything you want to ask, you can always message us on there, or our email address is info@howareyourreally.com. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jack. It's been really lovely having you, and thank you for stepping in to be our first webinar of the series. It's been a
Thank
bit
you.
and putting up with us, to be honest, as well. It's been a bit daunting, I think, for everyone, but we got through it, and it's been really great to hear your story, and how your experiences have led to something really positive, to help others, and sharing a really, really important message that many people actually really struggle to talk about. So that's been really, really great. So thank you.
Yeah. Can I ask one question, Jack? And that is, do you have any involvement in terms of actually maybe meeting up with young people or giving talks or anything like that? Or maybe not necessarily, no?
Yeah, so as I said, I'm a youth worker, so that's what I do.
Brilliant.
in my day-to-day job. The How Are You Really stuff, we don't have any plans for that at the moment, but that's just because we're only a month old. There hasn't really been those opportunities to present themselves. But I mean, by all means, if there is
Good.
groups
Yeah.
of young people or schools that would be interested in
Yeah.
hearing my story or whatnot, that's always something
Brilliant.
I'm open to.
When you talk about the youth work, am I right in saying, Jack, when you mentioned Bangor, that you're kind of working up, is that your locality? Are you kind of working within that area in North
Yes.
Down?
Yeah. So that's where I'm based. That's where I live,
Brilliant.
and that's where I work at the minute.
Very
So,
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Maeve. Thanks for kicking off our Q&A session. We'll open it up now. If you guys want to turn your cameras on, that's totally up to you, and you can turn your mics on. I'll just have a bit more of an open discussion. This is really casual, and you can do that and ask away. If you can turn your mics off whenever someone else is talking, then that would be great as well. That would be perfect. Who wants to, any questions?
Can I ask a question that probably...
It was really interesting to hear your story, Jack. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of it, but it sounds really good. And I really like that kind of destigmatizing the top and the t-shirt and opening the conversation. I think that's really positive, really good.
Thank you so much, Maeve. I really appreciate that. Genuinely, that really means a lot. So thank you for coming.
I just came upon it this afternoon, so thank you. I'm delighted to be along, and I'll follow up. Certainly, I'll check out your website and stuff. So thanks a lot.
Brilliant. Sophie, did you have a question?
Can I ask? Can you hear me? Okay, my thing's a bit strange.
Yeah.
Is that working? I thought that was great. I really enjoyed listening to your story on that. It's really brave as well for you to come on here and just open up. So well done. But I have a very random question. So I was looking on your Instagram page. What is have you got like a little mascot or that? I noticed there's like a little guy. Tell us about him.
Yes.
He's very cute.
Let's see if I can show you some. This is him here. You can see a better image of him on our Instagram.
Yeah.
So this is the mascot. So all the designs. So people ask me about this all the time, and it's got really mixed feedback. So this is a bit of an inside scoop. It's got really mixed feedback of people being like, "Oh, he kind of looks a bit creepy," and then loads of people are like, "I love it. It's so cool." Blah blah blah. So it's been really mixed. Hold on, I'm stuck on a wire here. There we go. So all the designs, we're hoping to get another couple of designs out pretty soon in colors. But the mascot and this is all done by me. So there was a company in America randomly reached out and said, "Oh, what font do you use?" And I said, "I know it looks like it's a P3's handwriting. I'm sorry, but it's actually mine." Yeah, but the character. Well, I actually haven't given the character name, but the reason why it's kind of designed like that is, for me, my experience with mental health is sometimes you can feel a wee bit plain and a wee bit empty, and that's okay. And I kind of wanted to characterize that in just a really simple drawing that would represent our brand. And the reason why he has a heart on his head and a question mark on his stomach is just that, again, is about, where are we? Here we are, is about how we're feeling, and actually it's okay to process those thoughts. So I mean, for example, originally my mum hated it. My mum was like, "No, that can't be the design," and then she grew to love it. And for me, I stand by it because I think it characterizes my experience of mental health. And yeah, so.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that's great. Because I thought there must be a story behind that, because it looks like something somebody's just created. But yeah, I like him. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's any name suggestions, by the way, because people keep asking what do we call it, and I go, I have no idea. Feel free to just drop me a message or something.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Jack, one of the questions here is, why did you choose to do a brand that's ethical and environmentally friendly?
Yeah, I mean, it's generally something I'm passionate about. it's a wee bit more expensive to do, but for me that is so much more worthwhile, because I'm so much it's something I'm passionate about, as you guys heard, of the environment. And if we want to enjoy our environment, we need to take care of it, and we need to look after it, and also just to support kind of those ethically made as well as eco-friendly. It's something that's close to my heart. There's a real opportunity right now for change across everything, whether that's to do with mental health or the environment, and lots of and you can see that transparent in things like, I mean, David in Attenborough just got like, what was it, like 1 million followers in like a couple of hours or something on Instagram, and that's something that I'm really excited about, is that us as a society, as a generation, and especially young people as well, like jumping on and understanding that we need to take care of the world around us if we want to continue to enjoy it. And it's something like clothes. We buy clothes, every X amount of days, months, whatever. And it's just another good choice we can be making, is buying eco-friendly, ethically made clothes instead of just buying something because it looks nice. I think it's just another small step in the right direction. So it was a definite choice for me of going, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right, and I'm going to do it the way that's going to keep me passionate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's been totally worthwhile, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. No, there seems to be a movement now, isn't there? People, like, they're thinking about where they're purchasing stuff from, and with everything, not just with clothing. Why did you choose like clothing? Like, why was that your first? Were there any other ideas first that you came across, or why did you choose to go with your t-shirts and your sweatshirts?
Part of the thought process was, the whole idea was to raise awareness and to create this kind of movement in itself of people advocating openness to talk about their mental health, and stuff like that. And I think there was loads of different ideas in terms of doing more of like a video series and different things like that. But the clothing one was the one that kind of was from the beginning and stuck with us, of actually we can do something that's really high quality, and cool, and it can be almost like a walking billboard for people to say, yep, I stand by this, and this is something that I want to advocate for, and I want to be a part of this movement, and kind of share a wee bit more of the message of how important it is to talk about our mental health. So I think that's why I kind of went with the clothing, is I think it gives people ownership of their part of the movement.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good conversation starter as well. Like, it's right on your clothes. You can be like, well, how are you really?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I mean, I've used it already before. Even I got a couple of the sample products before we even launched, and I was using it in youth work, and people were going, well, what's that all about? And it's like, well, actually, it's just about asking the question of, how are you really? And it works, surprisingly. It's about the only thing that I've done that's worked, so we're on our way up.
Brilliant. Does anybody else have any more questions they'd like to ask?
Yeah, can I ask, so, again, I apologize, I missed the beginning of it. Where is it produced locally, the clothing and stuff, Jack, or what way is that?
Yeah, so at the minute, our suppliers are based within the UK.
Very
So
good.
they're made. It's all made within the UK, and we're looking at trying to see if there's any more locally sourced, from Northern Ireland, and stuff. So as I said, we're very, very young. We're only a month
But that's
old.
good, because you can build upon that, really, can't you? It's about starting and
Yeah.
building blocks. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Very good.
I was going to say, like, is it, who would you say inspires you, Jack? Like, who would be, the person that you look up to?
Wow.
Big question, sorry.
Yeah, that's a big question. Who inspires me?
Or even maybe like thinking of it in a different way. Is there anybody that is like any books or any like speakers or anything that has helped you get through some difficult times?
I genuinely think, I know this might sound like a bit of a cliche answer, but I think the people who inspire me most are my mum and dad. Mum and dad have been through a lot, and yeah, they're great, and they've persevered, and they've both had their own different forms of mental health struggles, and I think, you know, they have now experienced a new form of pain of seeing their firstborn child go through that, and they've dealt with it very gracefully and well, and supported me through it, even though it was difficult for them. So yeah, I'd say my mum and dad are a big inspiration, just to keep going, and to try and start this whole thing.
Brilliant.
And yeah,
How-
and my friend Mark, just in case he gets to catch this at some point. Mark's been a big inspiration. He was the guy that was talking about earlier, who turned up at my front door and pulled me out and brought me along the beach. And sometimes that was at 3 o'clock in the morning. And Mark has his own family, you know, he's got kids and stuff, and he's got commitments, but he still carved out that time for me when I really needed it. So those would be the three
Brilliant.
big ones, you know.
Sophie has asked here, you said there about like your mom didn't like your logo, but she came around to it, and your dad has sort of helped you out a little bit with like the business side. Sophie's asking here, is it just yourself doing all this, or is there a team around you that you've got doing different things?
Yeah, it's just me most of the part, but thankfully my dad is carrying a lot of the different things. As I said, he's got a lot of experience in the kind of sales world, so dad would help me just keep on top of the numbers, and kind of orders and different things like that, make sure things are coming in and going out at the right times and stuff. And it's been a big stress, as I said earlier, with COVID delays. You know, we're trying to get orders out as quick as possible, and sometimes, you know, our suppliers are saying, look, it's going to be an extra couple of days. And thankfully dad is kind of the middleman, where I'm not curled up crying in a ball. You know, he can take the brunt of it, and then and then kind of slip me the bad news when when I can cope with it.
Can I ask, in terms of the link with the word, Jack, you know, that's another forum where your clothing and stuff could be advertised or promoted, isn't it?
Yeah,
because that's a big base, you know, and people link in there for training and different things, you know. Sounds good.
Yeah. So I mean, our relationship with Aware has been really, really positive so far. I believe they're going to be involved later on in the week, or later on at some point. And they've done a lot for us already. So they've been sharing us in lots of different places, and they're going to have a lot more going up on their website, and on our website too. We're going to be kind of sharing a lot more specifically where the money we're raising is going. So it's actually tomorrow morning when we're making our first donation from the first month of the 20% of all the profits has been put together, and we're going to be donating that tomorrow morning. So we're really excited to send that over and to help them in some shape or form.
Brilliant.
And it is all that working together as well. Like we are Aware are doing a sort of social media takeover, a few blogs, a few micro videos and stuff for us later on in the campaign. So they will be involved, as with loads of other people who are contributing to with mental health, the outdoors and everything. So there is loads coming up. So they are one to tune into as well. Eileen's asked a question here. She says,
I think it's more just a wee comment.
Oh yes, yeah. Eileen, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I wasn't sure about the designs at first, but just wee comments like that really mean a lot. So thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for coming along tonight. Thank you to everyone for coming along.
No, it's been really good.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Does anyone else have any more questions before we wrap up?
No, just it's been great. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you. We do, as I said, we have lots more webinars and social media takeovers and blogs. And actually, Sophie is going to be doing, Sophie runs a mental health blog called Normalize. So she'll be doing a social media takeover with us in a few weeks' time as well. So there's loads of really good content, and it's building those connections with the outdoors, with the mental health. And we're really excited to be doing this, and thanks everyone for coming along, and thanks as well for giving up your time.
Thank you
very much.
It's been
Thanks
great.
a lot, everybody, and particularly thanks to you, Jack, and Karina and Nicola for setting it up. Thanks a lot now. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.